All right, let's dive into a modern-day mystery. You know the one I'm talking about. The psychology of our friends who are like always online but never ever post anything. They're the silent observers of the internet, the digital ghosts.
Seriously, take a second. Who popped into your head? You know them. They've probably got that default gray profile picture, or maybe their last post was from, 2017? They see all your stories, they're right there in the group chats, but their own digital footprint is, well, it's pretty much invisible. So what's actually going on behind that silence? Let's figure it out.
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we kind of have to think like detectives. And our very first clue, it's all about a huge difference in how people see the internet in the first place. It really just starts with their basic mindset. For these folks, the internet isn't some big stage where they have to perform. Nope, it's more like the world's biggest library. They have what you could call an observational mind. See, their goal isn't about creating content, it's about consuming it. They're there to read, to watch, to learn, and just to understand the world from a nice, comfortable distance.
This right here breaks it down perfectly. You've got two totally opposite ways of thinking. On one side, you have the broadcaster. They log on because they want to be seen. They share, they post, they're all about engagement. But our digital ghost, the observer, they log on with a totally different motive, to see. Their whole game is consumption, and the goal is just information. It's a completely different reason to even be online.
So, okay, they're observers. We've got that part down. But that's not the whole story. Not even close. Let's dig into our second clue, because this goes way deeper than just watching. It's actually about a really powerful, conscious decision they're making about who they are.
You know, here's where most of us get it wrong. We might think their silence is just them being shy or trying to hide. But that's not quite it. It's really not about hiding. It's about control. They are actively, deliberately choosing who gets to tell their story, and more importantly, where that story gets told.
And this all comes down to just protecting themselves. I mean, think about it. They don't want their entire personality flattened into some two-dimensional online profile. They're pushing back against that constant pressure to perform, to post the perfect photo or come up with some witty update. By staying quiet, they're building this super important wall between their public and private lives, and they get to choose exactly who gets a key to the real world.
All right, so we know they're observers, and we know they're all about controlling their identity. But now we get to the absolute heart of it. This is the final piece of the puzzle. This is the core personality trait that really makes the whole thing tick.
They are internally anchored. So what in the world does that mean? Well, it means their self-worth, their sense of who they are, it just isn't tied to what other people think. They don't need the likes, they don't need the comments or the shares to feel valued, because that feeling, it comes from inside. Their anchor is dropped internally, holding them steady no matter what social media storm is brewing.
Let's just sit with this for a second. Self-worth is built internally, not crowdsourced externally. I mean, wow. That's the entire philosophy of the digital ghost right there. While so many people are out there basically crowdsourcing their self-esteem one like at a time, the silent observer is busy building theirs from the inside out. They don't need an audience for that.
So now we have all the clues. We can finally solve this thing. We can put together the complete psychological profile and really understand the incredible power that's hiding in their silence.
So let's put it all together. 1, it starts with an observational mindset. They're here to watch, not perform. 2, that leads to fierce identity control. They protect who they are. And 3, the foundation for all of it, they're internally anchored, which means their value is never, ever up for a public vote. These 3 things together, they create the person we call the digital ghost.
So the next time you see that person with the blank profile picture, remember this. That online silence, it is an emptiness. It's not them being antisocial. It's a conscious, powerful choice. It's a quiet declaration of self-sufficiency in a world that is constantly screaming at us to prove we're worth something to everyone else.
And that leaves us with one last question to ask ourselves. In a world that demands we broadcast every single moment, what do we really stand to gain by just choosing to listen instead?